Hi, Bill Cullen here. The billboard out front reads Cullen's Adventures, and this being the beginning of the June bride season, we're going to direct our look-it-up attentions today to the subject of something old, something new, something borrowed, and something blue, the subject of weddings. One particular wedding, actually, unique in orange blossom history. Our program is presented as a special service by this station and is furnished by Jennings Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge, the foremost children's encyclopedia for more than 50 years. Well, 78 years ago today, the society pages of every newspaper in America carried a description of the same wedding, the exchanging of I-do's between a portly 49-year-old from Buffalo, New York, and the 22-year-old daughter of his late business partner. The flowers, the music, the costume of bride and groom, and the ceremony itself were not in any way unusual. The setting of the wedding was, for it was in the White House in Washington, D.C., and the occupation of the groom was one that doesn't ordinarily turn up in the wedding notes. He was, at the time of his marriage, President of the United States. Name, Grover Cleveland, the first and only president ever to be married in the White House. Well, if the subject of weddings should come up in the next day or so, and June being June, the subject very well might, you might like to toss out a few facts about this one-of-a-kind White House wedding. It just so happens that I'm equipped with some, with thanks, as usual, to the Book of Knowledge. It's really a very romantic story. As a dashing young district attorney in Buffalo, as mayor of the city, as governor of New York, and for a year and a half as president of the United States, Cleveland was the prime example of an eligible bachelor. When at 49 he finally took the plunge, he picked a bride almost 30 years his junior. Not a May-December marriage, maybe, but at the very early a May-October specimen. The bride, Frances Folsom, was the daughter of the president's former law partner, and after the partner's death, Cleveland had served for many years as her legal guardian. Then, as they say, affection turned to love, and the rest is history. Well, somewhere along the line, young Frances Folsom said yes, and on June the 2nd, 1886, made the transition from ward of the president to mistress of the White House. President and Mrs. Cleveland had 5 youngsters, one of whom was born in the executive mansion, and all in all, the nation's first White House bride had a rather busy time of it. She saw her husband defeated for re-election in 1888, transferred housekeeping operations to a house in New York City for 4 years, while Cleveland resumed law practice, then moved back into the White House when the head of the family was elected to the presidency a second time, the first time in our history that a president has served 2 terms, not in succession. It wasn't until Cleveland left Washington that the couple had a taste of what might be considered a normal home life. They bought a house in Princeton, New Jersey, and lived there until Cleveland's death 11 years later, making many friends in the university town, actively participating in community affairs, and working in a few hunting and fishing trips together, too. The honeymoon was a long time in coming, but to judge from the evidence at hand, it seems to have been a very happy one. Well, on that romantic note, we'll have to bring today's honeymoon edition of Cullen's Adventures to a close. Just one quick invitation to the parents in the crowd. We put together a booklet containing some more interesting facts and figures, which I'm sure you'll enjoy reading. If you'd like to receive a copy to pass on to the youngsters, drop us a line. All we need is your name and address on a postcard, no money, just your name and address, and mail your card to Cullen's Adventures, Box 3400, Grand Central Station, New York City, and we'll send the booklet right out to you. I'll be back again tomorrow for another of these adventures segments furnished by Jennings Incorporated, publishers of the Book of Knowledge. Till then, this is Bill Cullen saying thank you and goodbye for now.